Mr. Chandrasekhar, as the representative of the techies in the country, do you think that regulation is in any way becoming a barrier? What do you want Mr. Sharma to change? What rules do you want Mr. Mundra to change? What rules do you want, or what habits do you want Mr. Sinha to change?
Well, I think first of all, I would like to say that we have today financial tech companies as a very, very important part of the whole startup and innovation ecosystem in the country. We have more than 200 fintech companies. We have more than 30% of the companies which have come up since 2010 have been in financial technology. And clearly we are in a position to become a hub for financial technologies. Why I'm mentioning this is because India is a highly price-sensitive country. And as Mr. Sharma was mentioning, the cost of the transaction is a very important element of deciding what would be the values for which people would be prepared to transact and to what extent people are able to actually use these methodologies. The statistics today are that while we may have 1 billion phones and rejoice in that fact, and I would too, and both of us have been associated with that sector, less than 2% of them actively use the mobile phone for financial transactions. That's the reality today, less than 2%. Why? So one is the aspect of convenience which you had brought out, but the other is the aspect of cost. The third is, given the pace at which this startup ecosystem is generating new solutions and technologies, we should be ensure that the regulatory system is not creating unwittingly a bias in favor of some older or less efficient technologies. For example, if we have all seen that we have dabbled for a long time, in banking correspondent, brick and mortar banks and all that, and today by and large a lot of them are known to be very expensive options. Now we've been through ATMs and credit cards, but we know that there are no competition when it comes to a mobile phone and the kind of costs involved. So I think the regulatory system is important in the sense that it should enable the continuous evolution of these products. I was delighted to hear the minister say that the platform will allow all kinds of applications to come in, and this will allow continuous evolution to happen. It's not enough for India to apply technologies as they exist. It's important for us to innovate and bring the cost down even further. That is what we are, I think.
Oh yes, that's what we expect the people in NASSCOM, the members of NASSCOM to do, to bring down the cost of that technology. My sense is that this, the fact that you're saying only 2% of the payments are happening through mobile is because, at the moment, every mobile is not becoming a bank account or a route to a bank account. And I think the payment bank is going to enable that. For me, that is the big hope. But let me ask someone who has been there, done that. Mr. Gates, what do you make of the architecture which the minister just described, which India has just put in? Several building blocks, the Aadhaar, which is a biometric identity of every Indian and linked to a Jan Dhan account, and the payment bank, which the Reserve Bank has just given licenses for, 11 of them, 4 of which are very large telecom companies and with very deep pockets, cutting-edge technology. Do you think this architecture is the way to go? What's your comment on this?
I think that the pieces have fallen into place to get a huge scale of digital transactions. And I think we have to make sure that it's happening in the rural areas. We have to make sure that the agents' networks are very high quality. We have to make sure that the cash in, cash out availability is there. But yes, I think the basic pieces are in place to drive first money transfer, but eventually most of your payments, and yes, young people will probably adopt it in general faster than others. But overall, over time, I think one metric you'd look at is what percentage of GDP is done in this digital way. In a country like Kenya, it's almost half already, and India may get there in just 2 or 3 years.
Do you think the building blocks that the government has put in are the right ones?
Yes.
Is this the way to go?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with what's in place. And, as we see it roll out, there may be a few things that need to be adjusted. For example, it was mentioned that the states we need to go work with them to make sure that their benefit transfer programs use this architecture. I don't think they're going to resist it, but maybe they'll need some support in doing that. Currently, the agent networks in India haven't been trained on these new things, so that there has to be an investment in that. Part of our role will be monitoring this, seeing what the reactions are, making sure that all the providers are getting feedback, particularly about the benefits to those at the bottom tier.
Mr. Gates, you see microcredit being given more by, if you are able to marry the payment bank and the digital marketplace and Aadhaar perhaps.
Well, once you have the switch, which is a low-cost, good fund switch, then you enable people to create all kinds of products. You know, for example, let's say I want to borrow money. I can offer up my history of transactions so it can look at my credit rating, or if I have some friends who are willing to guarantee the loan, it's very simple for them to get a message and say, hey, are you willing to help out in this way? So we'll see a variety of new products show up, and some of those will be tailored, you know, for example, to a farmer who needs to think about when they sell their crop, do they set money aside for the next planting season? Or do they want to think about some risk sharing where there would be some kind of insurance product there? And so this platform, we're seeing in some countries already innovative products. India is such a scale that I would expect we'll see even more innovative products here than we've seen anywhere else.
No, as of now, Mr. Sinha is more speaking about government giving payments to its citizen through the digital and other platforms. I'm just wondering whether pushing credit from non-bank entities, bank entities to citizens hitherto not receiving credit is possible by in a greater scale because of the digital marketplace.
Absolutely. Whenever you get rid of paperwork, whenever you make it easy to see somebody's credit history or to get somebody to, make a guarantee, it creates liquidity. The overhead for granting loans and evaluating credit will be dramatically lower in this digital environment. And so in China and the United States, we're seeing new credit providers come in. Even so-called peer-to-peer lending is one extreme of this. And yes, that's going to show up in India, and there'll be a lot of healthy competition.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Sinha, Mr. Gates, and Mr. Mundra, thank you very much for participating in this discussion.
Thank you very much.